Hello and welcome to another episode of Tech Enthusicast. I'm Neil.
I'm Simon, and this week we're allowed to talk about mobile phones again.
Yeah, no forfeits this time.
Oh, well, I know you still need to think what a forfeit's going to be.
I know. I'm not going to rush it.
You're going to wait 10 weeks.
Rubbish forfeit.
Sprung it on me. Well, this week's a big week for mobiles. The iPhone's out on Friday, the 6S.
Yeah.
I will not be receiving mine on release day, as soon as I did my... Did I mention this? I don't know if I spoke about this.
Not sure. Depends what you're going to say.
I did the pre-order, and then I cancelled the pre-order and then got the 6S Plus. So yeah, I don't come for a few weeks now.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone's saying it's great. Everyone's loving 3D touch. They're saying the photos are fantastic. 4K video on the 6S Plus has image stabilization on the video.
Yeah.
So you can now do smooth panning.
Cool.
No one's really got anything negative to say about it.
Has there not been anything said about whether your finger blocks the screen when you're doing a peek?
Do you know what? No one's mentioned that. That would be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, well, when I get mine in a couple of weeks, and I think Andy's comes tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'll ask Andy tomorrow to mess around with that and see if it does. But no, the reviews I've read have said that they found it really informative on email.
Right.
And that's where we imagined the thumb issue to occur. Non-issue, it appears, Neil. Non-issue.
Maybe. Fair enough.
But you were saying, like, because didn't someone go take their phone back?
Well, they attempted to upgrade to iOS 9, and as they tried to install it, literally they just clicked install, and then the phone just went to black, and they couldn't switch their phone back on. And this was on the Saturday? No, it was on the Friday. Came out on the Friday, did it? It was on the Friday.
I was at your house, so yeah, we should know these things came out a few days ago.
It was on the Friday anyway, I think. And she ended up having to go to an Apple store, and she said that when she was there, the store had dedicated 3 geniuses to sorting the problem out because it was pretty widespread.
Yeah, and it didn't seem to appear in the news straight away. I read something about an iCloud issue, but that wasn't until the following day.
Yeah.
So you'd have really thought there had been far more reports and that had been out there.
Yeah.
It seems to be solved now.
Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, just the fact that they pulled 3 geniuses off of appointments to deal with a ton of people.
Well, in our local store, I think there's only 4 or 5 geniuses at any one point in time anyway.
Yeah.
It's not an enormous store, is it? It's
not at all.
Quite small. Well, the other big iPhone news, I suppose, was Peace, the ad blocker, getting pulled after 2 days.
Yeah.
So Marco Armand had second thoughts.
Yeah, he said it just didn't feel good.
Well, there was a deep sense of irony there that you had to pay for an application that was blocking adverts and people getting paid for their website. So he was making money off people not making money.
But he did say he'd give anybody who wanted one a refund. So
automatic refunds now. Apple have said everyone's getting the money back.
Yeah, I mean,
They had to step in. They could not let that one slide.
He did say in his blog post, said anyone who wants to keep it, perfectly welcome to keep it, but there'll be no updates. Anybody who wants the money back is welcome to it.
It raised a very interesting sort of thought and idea that Apple could have obviously done content blocking themselves.
Yeah.
Fully implemented it, rather than create a framework for developers to do it.
Yeah.
But what better than to let the developers do it and let the developers take the flak?
Yeah.
Then the Apple itself can almost not wash its hands of it, but stay distant and not have to directly get involved and let everyone else do the cat and mouse game of chasing down, blocking this, blocking that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's quite an intelligent move not to go hands-on. Because I feel if, let's say Android would have done it content blocking themselves, I think.
Yeah.
And then it'd have been, then again, Android never do it anyway, seeing as their business model is adverts.
Pretty much.
Yeah, but I was talking to someone Monday about it, and they work in marketing. In fact, they work for Google, and they were saying that they weren't particularly too worried about content blocking. They do hope that it's just going to make adverts better and people won't block them. So even the marketing industry is wanting it to move in that direction. to make advertising better.
The ads are bad. They need something to shake them up.
The ads are bad, but then we started talking about programmatic. Programmatic advertising is where, the advertiser chooses a particular audience, so then the adverts are only shown to that audience.
Yeah.
And it's all done by computers. So just sells the adverts in the appropriate times. But then he was saying the most annoying thing that he found was when it advertising a product that is already bought.
Right.
And that is frustrating. That happened to me today.
That happens to me a lot.
Because today I was on Facebook and I got an advert, for the Anker USB 60-watt charger, which is a fantastic device. Anyone who charges anything by USB needs that device.
Yeah.
You can charge 6 devices simultaneously and it auto detects what the appropriate output is. Great device. But anyway, I already own it. I was like, I don't want to see that. Why don't you show me something I don't own that I might be interested in?
Yeah, use that data to come up with something related.
But I suppose it depends because if they've got the data to show me that advert, they must have got it from the source where I bought it from, which was Amazon. So Amazon could tell them that I've bought the product.
Yeah.
Just so I don't get the advert. So it needs to get better.
Yeah, definitely.
In fact, did you see there was an artist who did the ethical ad blocker?
No.
Any website that you go to that has an advert, it refuses to load the website. So you can't be a leech and take free content unless you're willing to see the adverts.
Yeah.
So pretty much if you install that browser plugin, there's no internet.
Nope.
There's a few non-for-profit websites like the Mozilla Foundation and stuff, and that is it.
Yeah.
So that's it. I think it's just a thought-provoking plugin more than anything, because you turn it on, try and surf the net, and
it just shows you.
Yeah, nothing's loading.
Yeah.
It's really not. Everyone survives through that marketing model.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of podcasts I listen to who they're using a service that provides them with the adverts, and something they've done is basically at the beginning, when they've started using the service, they've gone, if you go to this webpage, there's a quick survey, it asks you questions about the things you're interested in. That way we can target ads better to our audience. So it's in your own interest really to go and fill out the survey.
Show them products you're interested in.
Yeah, and I think that's easily done when you've got a website where there's a real community. Yeah,
there's the community spirit. You want to support the owners, the creators, and you don't get that. Like, I don't feel a particular affinity to some of the tech blogs that I read.
No.
Let's say if The Verge disappeared, another website would appear the following day. Yeah. Well, let's just face it, The Verge appeared overnight because it was Engadget.
Exactly, yeah.
They all left, started The Verge, and the next day, boom. If The Verge was to fall away, someone would replace it. And I think we just got too used to that.
Yeah.
When one site dies, another rises from the ashes.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a definite constant cycle.
I think the podcasts that I listen to where there's a real community, it's based not only around the quality of the information provided, but around the personalities of the people that work on the site.
Yeah, you do. Because I really enjoy listening to a podcast called Reply All.
Yeah.
And I kind of like the two guys that do the podcast.
Yeah.
Just as much as the content. So you go back to listen to what they're going to say.
Yeah.
As well as the content.
Yeah, I remember years ago, the first podcast I ever really started listening to was the Major Nelson podcast for Xbox.
God, you've got me thinking about my first podcast one. I'm going to think while you carry on.
What was the first CD you bought with your own money?
I can remember that, but I can't remember... I can't remember the first podcast. It must have been, when podcasting was new?
Yeah.
But I can't remember what it was.
Mine would have been in around 2010. No, it would have been around 2009, maybe.
Mine had been really early because I had iPods.
Yeah.
So it would have been that era.
Yeah.
But I can't remember. There must be some way to check on your iTunes account what the first subscription was.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get an iPhone till late 2007, early 2008.
So which was your first iPhone then, the 3G?
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, when I first listened to the Major Nelson podcast, I was listening to it for video game information. And at the time, it was just Major Nelson and E. and they'd be talking about food. They'd be talking about, and initially when I first started listening, I'm like, are they going to talk about video games this episode? 20 minutes in, they've just been talking about food and other random gubbins, and I was just like, what? But then it just becomes, it's to the point where you're actually interested in these people, you're interested in what they're doing. So yeah, you're listening to it for them, for their personality, and if they never mentioned anything to do with video games in the entire podcast, I wouldn't be bothered.
This reminds us of our flapjack conversation now. I actually tried to get some flapjack the other day because I knew I was going to be in London for an incredible amount of time. I was like, we need flapjack on the way. I could not find flapjack in the supermarket.
What?
Yeah, I ended up with Eat Natural.
Oh, that's no replacement.
Well, I bought a 4-pack of Mars bars as backup.
Just as a backup.
Just as a backup, because, I'm actually going to a modern day tech company tomorrow that doesn't do free food.
What?
I know. Well, they didn't do free food I'm at another one of their offices tomorrow. So the other office I went to didn't do free food. So maybe the office I go to tomorrow does.
Maybe.
Because I like...
You can't risk it though, can you?
You can't, but I do like my free food at tech companies. It's the main reason I visit.
And really, how different is a 4-pack of Mars bars to 2 Twixes? They're just fatter and not got biscuit in.
Oh no, a Twix is better than a Mars.
Oh, I'd agree from a flavour point of view. I'm just saying it's just two lots of 2 fingers when you think about it.
Now, is a Drifter better than a Twix?
No.
Do you like the chewiness of the Drifter?
I'm not a massive fan of Drifters, to be honest.
Well, you just said Drifter's better than Twix.
No, I didn't.
Oh, I thought you said the Twix is better than a Drifter.
Yeah. You said, is a Drifter better than a Twix? And I said, no. No.
I got myself mixed up.
Not a fan of Drifters. Don't know why.
Do they still do timeouts?
God knows.
I hadn't had a timeout in years.
You tend to have, there's like your big kind of 5 to 10 chocolate bars, aren't they? And then some shops just don't stock.
I've got a chocolate bar fact for you.
Go.
Kit Kat just got denied the trademark on a 4-finger Kit Kat.
What?
Yeah, they've allowed the 2-finger, but not the 4-finger.
Why is that?
I don't know. I didn't read the ruling, but yeah.
How could you not read how could you read that and not carry on reading?
You're just like, really? Oh, okay.
That'd have been a deep dive.
Well, no, I'm not a 4-finger Kit Kat man.
I have to say, I do prefer a Kit Kat Chunky.
I like a Kit Kat a peanut Kit Kat Chunky.
Yeah, but I think the chunky foam is just a better foam overall.
I do like 2-finger Kit Kat. Yeah, we've definitely digressed from tech. To pull it back to tech, Neil, and to stick with our...
Well, the technology involved in converting a 4-finger Kit Kat into a chunky Kit Kat is quite complex. It's more difficult than you'd think. Anyway.
Just touching it one last time. A chunky Kit Kat reminds me of like the pimp my snack philosophy.
Yeah.
Of a chocolate bar.
Yeah.
Like scaling it up.
How do we do this? But bigger.
Yeah, I can remember looking at Pimp My Snack and they'd done a Cadbury's cream egg in an Easter egg mould.
And then just filled it with fondant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh God, can you imagine how sickly that would be?
And like wagon wheels that are the size of a wagon wheel.
Yeah, 20-inch wagon wheel. But to go back to tech, Neil, to stay on track.
Things happened.
I changed my phone contract today.
Radio.
So then that got me just reading about phone contracts and stuff. And then I came across something that only released today in England called Freedom Pop.
Radio.
Which is a free mobile phone network.
Say what?
Yeah. And I was like, what? Free? So looked into it earlier on. You had me look into it. And yeah, you get 200 minutes, 200 texts, and 200 meg of data a month for free. Which just doesn't seem real. No. It really doesn't.
Yeah, and you might think, well, that's not very good, but it is 100% free.
And essentially, we all have devices that connect to Wi-Fi. I'm on Wi-Fi at home. I'm on Wi-Fi at work. I'm on Wi-Fi when I visit a friend's house. So the only time I'm not on Wi-Fi is the transitionary periods between place X and Y.
Yeah.
So the only time I use a lot of data is when I'm on the train.
Yeah, I use a lot because my work doesn't have Wi-Fi. And
That's
in my job I do go out and about as well. So
I think if you want to use it for like a second mobile,
yeah,
it's perfect. If you just want a second number or you want to make calls, you get an extra 200 minutes, just swap the SIM and you get 200 minutes for free.
yeah.
It's worth it just for that. There is some fine print. There's always fine print. There's a £5 activation charge and a £2 delivery charge on the SIM.
Yeah.
But that's £7 and then it's free.
That's one off. So
It's available in the US as well, so it's not just the UK. But they do some other really interesting sort of features that I've never even seen on any other phone network.
yeah.
You can, if I run out of data, I can say, "Oh, Neil, can I have some data if you've got some left?" And then you can send me some of your data allowance.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah, that's crazy.
that is crazy. It's like a group of you or your family or whatever, and because you can actually, there's a tiered program, you can pay for more data and things, and you can save up your data if you pay for the rollover plan, which is £1.49 a month, so you can save up your data. But it's just, I'm definitely going to do it. I'm going to put it on my second mobile and not have to pay, because I was actually thinking about getting a second contract.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking to myself, I'm not going to use it very often. It's mainly going to be on Wi-Fi. And I was starting to get a bit like, oh, I don't really want to pay for a contract. And now this has appeared. I don't have to pay for a contract.
It's the perfect solution to a first world problem.
Well, their actual, when you read their sort of like mission statement, they say that they see access to these services as an essential right now.
Yeah.
So they tried to make it free.
Yeah. And it could be, I mean, depending on how good, you'd have to look into it deeper, but depending on how good they are at actually capping. So, when you reach your 200 meg, then you cut off, or there's reasonable charging for that. This could be a SIM card you give to a kid.
Yeah.
And
I think it's going to be a cut off.
Yeah. I think it'd have to be.
It's based on 3's network, and that's how 3 do it.
Yeah.
As soon as you hit your card, they just cut it off.
But it'd be absolutely ideal to give to a child, because they've got, they can make calls.
Yeah.
They can send text messages.
They'll always be able to receive calls anyway.
And they're not going to run up massive bills.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to get one. And they've announced they're going to do initiatives in the future where they're going to do advertising. And if you watch the adverts, you'll learn things like data and minutes and texts.
Yeah.
Because I think they did an unlimited calls and unlimited text plan. Was it £12?
Yeah,
£12 for unlimited calls. And I'm not a particularly big caller.
No.
I'll use WhatsApp. So
Yeah.
I don't really make calls. I receive calls, but I don't make them.
It's weird, because I remember having a BT Genie SIM card, which boasted unlimited calls and unlimited text messages. I mean, how long ago was this? Like, not quite 20 years ago?
Well, no, I was
15 years
working
ago.
in the video game store.
Yeah.
So that puts it at 13 years ago.
Wow.
13 years ago.
And I remember receiving a text message from BT Genie that said, BT Genie offers unlimited text messages within reason. You have exceeded this. But at the time, because text messaging was free, I was just sending over 1,000 text messages a month.
God, that just reminded me of when I got done for an unlimited thing as well.
Really?
Yeah, it was an ISP that said unlimited data.
Right.
And I got cut off. But the way they told you were cut off was by email. And back then, it didn't like I could get my mobile phone out and check my email.
Yeah,
so I couldn't even check my mail to find out.
It's not like your pocket buzzed.
Yeah.
And just went, what's that?
So yeah, I'd been kicked off for downloading too much. I was like, what?
That's crazy.
I think I was downloading ISOs of like Linux distribution or something. Just kicked me off.
Yeah.
So no, use too much data, you're banned. I was like, what? How have I been kicked off? And to send it by email was a real kick in the teeth.
Yeah.
Because when it wouldn't work, I had to ring up and went, oh no, did you not get your email? Well, no, because
You cut my day
you cut
off.
me off. So I couldn't check my email.
That's crazy.
But
They didn't think that one through, did they?
no, they really didn't. It was just annoying. My system wanted it, so they didn't really care. To be honest, wanted me gone. They didn't exactly want me as a customer after I'd used that. I'd used too much data. So yeah, that's Freedom Pop
Yeah.
for totally free mobile phone service. If you use low data, I think you can get by in 200 minutes and 200 texts.
Yeah.
I really do.
Easily. And if you're not massively bothered about going out and paying for
let's say
ridiculously expensive
200
phone.
meg of data, yeah? So if we're sending WhatsApp messages,
Yeah.
the amount of data one WhatsApp message takes up is minuscule.
Yeah.
So the amount of messages you could send through like WhatsApp or a similar service would be huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's free. I'm getting on it. I'll test it out.
Cool.
It's 3's network anyway,
Yeah.
so it's going to be as good as 3 who I'm with anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, Freedom Pop.
Cool.
Did you see any interesting news this week?
It's been a bit of a slow week. There's been some random.
Everyone's been
weird
waiting for the
stories.
embargo for the iPhone to be lifted.
Yeah.
Every tech reporter has been busy playing with their iPhone successors. And I always find that strange because everyone's going to say pretty similar things. Maybe we say similar things for other tech podcasts.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Just drop the phones, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Talk about something else. But a story I read today and I found very surprising. What internet video streaming service had the highest revenue in 2015 so far?
Netflix.
It's not Netflix.
Ooh.
You can have one more guess.
Hulu.
It's not Hulu.
Ooh.
It's HBO Now, which only launched in April.
Whoa.
So we've got April, May, June, July, August, September.
Crikey.
And it's 6 months and it's already got the highest revenue. Incredible. I would have always put Netflix at the top.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought anyone was competing with Netflix.
Crazy.
But it actually goes HBO, Hulu,
Right.
then it's Netflix and Amazon. So I think because Netflix puts so much into original content,
Yeah.
you imagine them at the top. Obviously, HBO is all original
Yeah.
content, but they've got it's a big network beyond just the streaming. But
Yeah.
for HBO Now to be the top already
That's crazy.
in 6 months just shows how great their content is. I suppose content's king,
Yeah.
which is why Netflix tries to do a lot of original content. So
Would any of that be affected by compression? Like massively?
what do you mean?
Compression of the video file that's...
What?
Talking about streaming, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
So is the file not compressed in any way when it's...
Yeah, it uses like H.264.
Yeah. So if they're all using the same standard...
No revenue in terms of how much money they're making,
revenue.
Neil. That's why I was like, what?
Didn't think you said revenue.
No revenue. Revenue.
That's different.
If it's actual data throughput, it's going to be Netflix, surely.
Yeah, it's got to be.
It's got to be.
I don't know how much HBO costs.
Expensive.
Yeah, I was going to say...
But I'm just thinking now, if you think of how much of the catalogue you can access on Netflix, people will just rattle through 10, 12 episodes a night. But HBO's catalogue can be nowhere near as big as
No.
Netflix's. So Netflix will have the highest data throughput, but HBO, highest revenue.
Yeah.
That's a company we all should have invested in. Damn it.
Yeah. And the last thing you want to be doing is compressing your revenue.
God, who was it I think it was Netflix who came out and said they were going to stick with H.264 just because you mentioned compression. Because they changed the licensing requirements for H.265, which is, I think, higher compression, but it costs more
Yeah. All right.
in terms of paying the fees
Yeah.
to the licensee. So yeah, everyone's reverted back to H.264, even though arguably it's not as good as H.265. So yeah, that's what I'm interested to with everything else.
Yeah.
But no, the rest of the tech scene this week has been slow,
Yeah.
bit boring. There's been nothing like, hey.
Well, I have pre-ordered one of the Amazon tablets.
Oh, the $50. Didn't you get the 6-pack?
No, I didn't get the 6-pack.
Oh, did you not?
That could have been Christmas sewn up, couldn't it?
It really could. It was buy 5, get 1 free.
Oh no. Well, I figured I've pre-ordered one, and I'm going to test it out, have a look at it. But yeah, pretty much, I'm thinking Christmas presents for the kids, and then I can have my iPad back.
Yeah.
But yeah, $50 translates to £50 because we get boned in the UK.
I'm going to look into it as well and see if anyone's jailbreaking and unlocking these things and putting standard Android on.
Yeah.
Because
that would be even better.
If I could have standard Android, I'd have it as a clock.
Yeah.
Because I said that a few episodes ago, didn't I?
Yeah.
But £50 for an OK Google device that I can just ask questions to.
Yeah.
I'd pay £50 for that.
Definitely.
I'd pay £100 for that, to be honest. Probably pay £150 for that. Who am I kidding? I'd pay $200. So yeah, I'm gonna look it up and see if someone is actually someone's figured that out.
Got to, haven't they? But it's expected to come early next week.
Really? That soon?
Yeah, well the release date's 30th.
God.
Sure it's the 30th. It's definitely the 30th. Whether it's this month or not, I'm now questioning.
It'll be interesting to see for £50.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll give it a thorough test, and we can chat about it on a later podcast.
So I assume they save money by putting in, we checked this out, saying that it's not going to be a super high-res screen or anything, is it?
Yeah.
But I'm not convinced we need such high-res screens on mobile devices.
I'm somebody who's like, Blu Ray, don't care. DVD's good enough.
You know what? I ordered Avengers Age of Ultron the other day on DVD.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not paying for the Blu Ray. I can't see the picture anyway, so I'm certainly not paying for Blu Ray. Although I've got a Blu Ray player that is currently filled with coins.
So what now?
Franklin opened up the front drawer and just started slotting in coins. So it's just full of copper coins.
Fantastic.
It's not the first time it's happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can just pop the top shell off.
Yeah.
And it's just
full of coins.
So before I can actually watch Age of Ultron, I need to fix the Blu-ray player.
It's worth a watch.
Well, I think Sean watched it on the plane when I went a few weeks ago, but they don't have audio description on the plane.
No.
I should complain about that. I should mention that to Virgin or BA. But yeah, so I didn't want to really watch anything on the plane. So now I'm looking forward to watching, actually.
Yeah.
Because do you know what? Here's a question for you.
Okay.
Is a narrator of a TV show a viewer as you are, or part of the cast? How would they reference themselves? Are they us or them?
I'd say them.
I've always said them.
Yeah.
So I consider audio description a narrator.
Okay.
Which I think is a fair assumption.
Yeah.
When I watch Netflix, because I'm watching House of Cards at the minute, the audio description person says, at certain points, Frank Underwood talks to us, the audience, rather than you, the audience. And every time I hear it, it throws me.
Yeah.
Because I always consider a narrator part of the cast, rather than a fellow viewer.
But I guess it's slightly different to narration, isn't it? Because
Now, arguably, audio description is the same as someone sitting with you
and describing
it. So then they do become part of us.
Yeah, because with audio description, you're literally getting what's on screen and what's happening, whereas a narrator would be more likely to give you further information that isn't being displayed.
But I don't know, I'm like, 50-50 on it, because I do, because it's audio description, I just consider it part of the show.
Yeah.
And so therefore it's them.
I guess it's more akin to when you've got the sign language in the corner.
So you'd say that's us rather than them?
I would say that, yeah. Yeah, I would. Because they're viewing it.
Yeah, that's because they do that weird thing where they go, and turn around and look at the screen themselves. Well, for a minute, I just go, just watch this, what's going on? And then I'll sign it out for you.
Or worse, when there's music playing and they start dancing.
Although, do you know that? Do you know looking at the screen?
Yeah.
I do that when I'm presenting on stage.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's a natural cue.
Yeah.
So before I go on stage, I ask where the screen is.
Yeah.
And then I look at the screen. Yeah. And I can't stop myself doing it. But I always just go, oh. and then click to the slide. But I think that's because it's such a natural cue that people do that I still do it.
Because I think another kind of difference is, again, with either audio description or with somebody signing on the screen, it's like they've got no prior knowledge of what's happening almost, you know what I mean? It's almost like they are observing it and then interpreting what they're observing and then passing that information back to the viewer.
Yeah.
Whereas a narrator is something that's scripted, it's something that's a part of the production.
Audio description is part of the production, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but that's how it's...
Yeah, I understand the justification for us and them. It just, every time I hear it, I just go, It just jars me a little bit. Because I do kind of consider them to be them.
Yeah.
Rather than us.
It's an interesting one, though. It's not something you'd think about.
No, but someone made that language choice.
Yeah. And
that brings me back to an interesting point. Just going to jump in, Neil.
Okay.
Back to tech. The rumour is I don't want to call it this, but the dislike button on Facebook is going to be an emoji.
Really?
Yep. Therefore avoids having to decide what it's going to be called.
Right.
So we'll go back to the conversation now.
I was going to say, you've thrown me now.
I know, sorry.
That's fine.
We're talking about audio description.
We were.
You're talking
in a show where the fourth wall is broken, that distinction becomes more apparent with the us and them.
Yes. Yeah.
So you wouldn't necessarily notice it in other TV shows or movies.
Well, this is the first time I've ever noticed it because this was the first time I was watching a show with audio description that breaks the wall.
Yeah.
Because you don't see it as often.
Yeah. In most things, there isn't any need for that distinction to be made. But in a show where the fourth wall is broken, then there kind of is.
Yeah. I think I need to listen to a lot more audio description and see if it's ever referenced outside of breaking the wall.
Yeah. There'd be little call for it that I can think of off the top of my head. But yeah, it's interesting.
Because I'm sure when I watched Guardians of the Galaxy, did he reference himself as the narrator at the end? I'm sure something like narrated by da-da-da and da-da-da.
Right.
Because Narcos, the audio description is really good on Narcos as well.
I've still not seen that.
Because they use a male and female voice for a lot of distinction.
Oh, yeah, you said, yeah.
So, because a lot of it's not English, a lot of it's subtitles. So then they use a male to do subtitle audio description, and then a female voice to give context for the show in terms of what's happening.
Yeah.
And that makes it really easy to understand. But then I watched, is it called Sense8?
Sense8, yeah.
I watched the first episode and I was like, no way. I cannot keep up with that. Because it's so choppily cut.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
It jumps about a lot, doesn't it?
The audio script was painful.
Yeah.
Trying to, in my head, go, what? Hey, what?
Because the characters are all in different world locations, aren't they? So if it's chopping between all of them.
I'm sure visually it works.
Yeah.
But for audio description, it's not. Maybe it settles down, but to be honest, I was so jarred by episode 1, I was like, nah, skip that. Then I just started watching House of Cards instead.
While we're talking about voices.
Okay.
Tesco have just changed the voice in the self-serve tills from a woman's voice to a man's voice.
Really?
Yeah, happened earlier this week.
Is it a natural voice or is it a robot voice?
No, it's natural voice.
Is it natural voice though? Is it someone that's recorded it or is it?
I think it is because there's only set things that get said, aren't there?
Yeah, but it could be like you've heard Alex on my phone and Daniel. So it's better than Alex and Daniel. It's definitely a human.
I think so. I think the woman one sounded more human than the man one does, but
sometimes it's hard to tell because the Runkeeper voice is real, isn't she?
Yes.
But we all thought robot.
Yeah. You just presumed, don't you?
You presume, but it's a real lady.
So I don't know either way, but yeah, I thought it was
wonder why they've done that.
I don't know. I asked a member of staff.
I'd have honestly thought the female voice would cut through the background noise better than the male voice.
I said to there was a member of the Tesco I was in was quite a big store, so there's about 10 self-service tills. So there's always a member of staff kind of manning the area. It's because it's right by my work and I go in there all the time, and the woman who's usually on there talks to me. And I said, I don't know if I like the new voice. And she went, I do. I've got a new man in my life.
We need to tweet Tesco on why they've made that change.
Yeah.
And if we don't get a response, I think I've got the head of innovations email swelling around. Why did you change the voice?
Yeah.
We like the lady.
It was, I don't know, it was just really noticeable.
I was doing voice work. Yes. Was it yesterday I was doing voice work? Anyway, I did a voice recording this week.
Yeah.
And I'm terrible at it. I'm terrible at delivering a line. But what made it harder was they'd recorded someone using the pacing and emphasis that they wanted me to do.
Right.
And then they wanted me
to match it.
But he had a New Zealand accent.
Right.
So I was saying certain words and saying, that sounds nothing like what you said. I was like, that's because I've got a northern accent.
Yeah.
You're comparing me to someone from New Zealand. This is... and I found it so difficult because I kind of put on pauses after certain words because I was getting given lines and then I was using my emphasis, how I deliver that line. Well, no, you need the pause. I'm like, well, the pause sounds better here.
Yeah.
It's more of a natural pause. So tough. But yeah, to try and copy when it's another accent.
Yeah, because it's
so hard.
It's an unusual thing to have to do.
Yeah.
The amount of times that you do that in your actual... It's usually only when you're mocking somebody that you would do that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, really. And because it was such... It's not disjointed lines, but it was like a line here, a line there.
Yeah.
If it was more of a conversational thing, I think it'd have been easier, but it was like, deliver it like this. I'm like,
Yeah.
Just play that again. How did he say that?
Here's 8 or 9 words, just say them like this and then stop.
Yeah, it really makes you appreciate how talented actors and voiceover actors especially actually are. To be able to emote correctly.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Yeah. If you look at the IMDb for a voiceover actor, it's a long
they do everything.
list because they get so much work.
Yeah. And did the guy who did Scooby-Doo do every cartoon on Earth?
No, he did. He carried on doing... no. You mean actual Scooby?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I think he did a lot of the characters in the show.
Yeah.
And then worked on every cartoon.
I think he did Fred as well. I think he did Fred and Scooby.
I know he did a lot of cartoons.
Yeah.
Because I always liked Patrick Warburton.
I love Patrick
for
Warburton's
voiceover work.
His voice is amazing.
And then it was in that comedy? It's got David Spade in it.
Yes.
What's it called?
The one about couples and David Spade's the...
Something engagement. Rules of engagement. Yeah. I quite like it. That show's saved by Patrick Warburton in my view.
Yeah. Yeah.
He has got a great voice. Oh, it works so hard.
But you look at video games and it's almost a running joke that what voices are Nolan North going to do in this video game because he's just used...
Well, they're all going on strike.
Time. Are they?
That was in the news today. Yeah.
Crazy.
I think it's because they're getting a flat rate rather than a commission rate.
Yeah.
So now they're saying no on a commission rate because obviously video games now sell a huge amount of copies, so you're better off taking the percentage than you are taking flat rate.
Yeah.
So they're saying they want royalties off of... I think that's the argument.
Yeah.
You're definitely going to get paid a lot more.
That's a weird one just based on the fact that Destiny released a game with a voice done by Peter Dinklage and then they just released the biggest expansion and replaced all of Peter Dinklage's voiceover with Nolan North, funnily enough. But because they're planning on Destiny being like a 10-year project.
What, really?
Yeah, so why they thought they were going to be able to get Peter Dinklage to do 10 years worth of voiceover, I don't know. But yeah, so they've just replaced it all. Everything that Peter Dinklage did was only in for the first year.
Can you remember Abe's Odyssey?
Oh used to love Abe's Odyssey. It's
That-
been re-released, actually.
Well, that
Digitally
had
remastered.
planned to be a huge, long-running.
It was supposed to be 5
Epic
games
game, yeah.
that covered different characters, so Abe wasn't supposed to feature in all the games.
Yeah.
They only made 3 in the end.
It got
Two
heavily
of them-
shortened. They struggled, though, didn't they? But
Yeah.
it was such a unique gameplay. The whistling and
Yeah. Wait.
yeah.
Follow me.
Yeah, I like games that
Yeah.
do that, but the problem is they just then they get critical acclaim,
Yeah.
but they don't get sales,
Yeah.
which is a real shame. It's like Ico,
Oh, yeah.
critical acclaim, yeah, we bought Ico.
Yeah. I considered downloading the Abe Digital Remaster a
Really?
couple of weeks back. So I used to love that game.
Yeah,
So
I can still remember buying it, bought it from HMV.
Yeah, I remember playing it, and I was like reading the kind of blurb about the fact that they were planning on doing 5 games about different characters within the Oddworld universe.
Yeah,
And
back
then,
when you used to buy Edge.
yeah, and then the second game came out, and it was another game featuring Abe, and you're like, well.
What happened there?
And then they had another game that was Western themed, and I can't remember
I don't remember that one. What was that?
what it was called. But again, that was one that got a lot of critical acclaim, but did nothing. It was just released really, really quietly, and didn't do much. But I've heard video game bloggers talking about it recently.
I was thinking we should do a special podcast.
Right.
And we're allowed to pick out one game from every console we owned that we felt we got the most fun out of,
Yeah.
rather than what got critical acclaim or whatever.
Yeah.
We should do that as a special.
Okay.
And then that got me thinking, what console did I get the most fun out of all the games?
Right.
So what console do you think that you owned that you got the most fun out of? Or you play the games to death or whatever?
That's tricky. That's tricky because I didn't own that many consoles, to be honest. But because my brain's automatically going Xbox 360. But I look back to my Amiga, which wasn't a console, but my
Yeah, well, I suppose we could say
yeah.
gaming rather than,
Yeah.
than console.
I look back to my Amiga and the hours that I spent playing on that, and even before that, my Acorn Electron 16K.
Yeah.
Spent hours playing games on that. I mean, you kind of had to because it was tape loading.
For me, Dreamcast.
I never had a Dreamcast.
Because every game I had on that, I just played to death.
Yeah.
Power Stone was just undefeated. I played that game relentlessly to the point where you try and perfect what moves. Virtua Tennis, played it to death.
Mind you, I mean, PS2's got to be up there. How long was the PS2 the console?
I think I had an 8 or 10 year lifespan.
Yeah.
Because we used to play WWE.
Yeah.
But then again, if we say 360, we used to. But if you think 360, the most fun we ever had was me, you, and Andy. Condemned.
that was
The most fun we've had playing a video game on that console. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We played other games
for group experience.
Like
Yeah.
Fight Night. We used to play Fight Night
Oh yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, Condemned was probably my best experience on the 360. And I used to do a lot of online game. If I think about what game I used to play the most, it was Forza.
Yeah.
But was that the most fun I had? No, it's Condemned.
Yeah.
Because if I think back, that was we'll talk about it in the podcast rather than ruin it now. But
Just wasted a podcast.
we just waited the podcast. But Condemned was great. And that, for me, I suppose the last game I was ever able to play to see was probably Indiana Jones Lego 2.
Oh right, yeah.
I struggled to see it,
Yeah.
but to be honest, it's a bit button bashing, isn't it? Get away with it.
Yeah.
Especially, that was probably the last game I played on a console. I'll have to have a think about it. But yeah, that's going to be a special, Neil.
All right.
We'll have to probably break it down and do each console generation because we'll end up talking about it way too much, I think. So we'll circle back round to that.
Yeah.
And I can't, to be honest, this week, not much more tech news I've been that intrigued by.
No, not really.
Looking forward to a new phone.
Yeah.
Oh, OnePlus 2.
Oh, yeah.
How did we not start with the OnePlus 2?
My OnePlus 2 arrived. And it looks really nice. It feels really nice in your hand. Yeah, I've not really used it at this point because I only got it a day or so ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really, really nice looking piece of kit. My only problem is I've listened to reviews. And I've been
Shouldn't do that.
off. I know. In fact, there was an article on The Verge the other day that was like, why you shouldn't listen to reviewers when you're buying a phone.
You shouldn't?
No, but I've listened to a review and it was untested, and I kind of value their opinion, and as a result, it's put me off. So I want to.
There's always those purchases in the way you buy it, because I regretted instantly buying the 6S.
Yeah,
and then cancelled and got the 6S Plus.
Yeah, so we'll see. I don't know what I'm going to do.
I still want to get a hold of one.
Yeah,
waiting for an invite. Again, eventually. But with the Nexus announced next week, if they release that at a competitive price point, I think that's really going to shake the Android market.
Yeah.
If that comes in at £320, I can't understand why you buy any other Android device.
Yeah.
I really can't. It's pretty much the flagship one to get.
Yeah.
It's going to have all the updates. It's got a fingerprint scanner. Everything's going to be pretty rock solid on it.
Yeah.
If they can make it cheap enough, everyone's going to buy it. I'll have to pop into Google and just accidentally pick one. I was going to go and see the tech guy. Today's... I fell on my back. I was actually, they gave me a gift when I was talking the other day and said, but got something really special for you. I was thinking, what is it? What new Google tech have they got? I wasn't even anything by Google.
Oh, you're going to laugh.
No, super. I wasn't disappointed. It was actually a really great gift. But then I thought, it made I was thinking, have Google got anything coming out? It's next week, so don't give me it now. No. So I just got excited because when you're in Google, you assume you're going to get a tech gift.
Yeah, I assume that every time I go to Google.
But you know what? No, there was a point where if you went to the cafe, you got given a Chrome. Is it
Chromecast.
Yeah, Chromecast. Seriously.
Yeah.
Every time I walked in, I had like 4 or 5 of them, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, because every time I went anyway, it's a Chromecast. We're just giving away like candy.
Yeah. There's rumoured to be an update to that.
Yeah, there's supposed to be an audio one as well.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
I'm wondering whether, now with that, because Amazon had like a little dongle as well, didn't they, with the Fire TV stick, and now they've gone for a set-top box. Will Google go the same way?
There is Android TV already, though.
True.
Built in to set-top boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what? Competition's great.
Yeah.
Let's hope they do release something.
Yeah.
Because Amazon's hardware, stick to ebooks and tablets.
Yeah.
Come on. Every time they make something else. The annoying thing is that Echo is great.
Yeah.
Please, just worldwide release it. Bang some updates in it. Get it on a 12 to 18 month cycle. Have a great hardware product.
Yeah.
I just never get it with Amazon. Never get it. Oh. Well, I think that's definitely us for this week now.
I think so, yeah. So, I mean, again, if anybody wants to get in touch with us, we're on Twitter, at Enthusiast Tech. We're on Facebook. And we've got our own site as well, techenthusiast.com. And there's now another podcast.
Yeah, me and Andy have been recording one that's Apple specific. That's because we're two pretty big Apple fanboys. So. Yeah. We generally talk a lot of Apple, talk a lot of Apple nostalgia. And I think in the last episode we were talking about just how long Apple hardware can last for.
Yeah.
Because my iMac's going to be touching 6 years old soon. Still one's great.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to upgrade every 12 months, even though there's something new every 12 months.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this week Andy's going to do a live unboxing of his iPhone 6S, which he got in rose gold.
Cool.
Very jealous. I'm thinking about maybe cancelling again and getting a rose gold. If anyone else there wants to swap a 64 gig Space Grey 6S Plus for a rose gold one, get in touch. I'll straight swap you for a rose gold.
But yeah, so there's a podcast feed up for that as well. So just go into whatever you use for downloading podcasts and type in Apple Enthusiast. It'll pop up and you can subscribe and listen to that one too. But I think that'll do us for this week. So it's bye-bye from me.
And bye from me.
Laters.